Destined for Jesus, and welcome to the Magic Morning Wood Valentine's Day special for all you lovebirds out there. Come on, Nick. Come on. You know you want to. Yeah, there we go. You little cutie pie. There we go. Oh, Ron's up to check the latest. Yeah, very impressive. I actually did that when I did that Netflix series thing that I was in for like a second. Unfortunately, they didn't use
Oh,
that
okay.
bit.
Too bad.
Uh, you know. Anyway, as is our wont, on Valentine's Day, we decide to fucking needle each other.
Mm.
And Nick was on last year as a guest, and that was kind of fun. So we thought,
Was that the second one last year? Was that the third? Like, how many have you guys done now?
Oh, I think that was
oh, we've done a
like
few.
4 or 5, I think. Yeah, a
Wow.
few more than that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I remember. Yeah. And one year we didn't do the I Hate You Man, we did an actual romantic movies, right?
We did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that was one year. And then yeah, I think we did maybe that was at least this is at least the fifth, if not the sixth or seventh.
Okay, wow. So, what are some?
Yeah.
Can you guys remember, cast your minds back to what are some standouts? Obviously, I know what last year's lineup
Yeah.
was, and interesting, I think I see some
Um
connective tissue between what we did last year and some of what we did this year. But anyway, out of
mm.
interest's sake, do you guys remember
I
what
remember
are?
the
Are
very
you
first
trying to
year we did it.
steal my catchphrase of connective tissue there?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Get back in your lane, please.
Yeah. Anyway,
I remember the first year I won with Van Wilder.
yeah, I can see
And
that.
yeah, and you had was it that year that you had the Enema Bandits? That
Yeah,
was
I
one of
mean,
the years.
to
That
be
might have been the year
honest,
after, I think.
Ron takes a very unsportsmanlike glee
Mm.
in winning by breaking the Queensberry rules and punching below the belt. So
Hmm.
I
And
can
one
at
year,
least have
one
my
year I lost. I
dignity.
remember
I've
the year.
fought
I
with,
remember the year I lost. That, or I didn't lose, but I wasn't successful when I did Billy Madison, and you actually liked Billy Madison, so that one didn't work.
right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
I have a theory about
And
what
then
happened this year, but because it's a little different than last year. Because last year, Clive got two shots. Clive had two guns last
mm,
year. He fired a
that's
shot at
right.
you,
Well, as
Ron.
you'll find out from
Mm,
today's show, uh, clearly I
Have
should be
to.
allowed to
Well,
carry arms that the others aren't because they don't play fair.
so yeah. So I feel like in
we're
the
just
kind
better
of
at this than you are. Sorry.
I feel like what happened was last year there was a Mexican standoff, but Clive had two guns and Ron
Yeah.
and I had one gun, right? And so I think everyone kind of suffered a little bit because actually I'll say Clive's choices last year, both of them hit me. Uh, it
Mm,
was painful to watch that cannibal scumbag to be up his nose
uh,
for
right. Right.
what's felt like 9 hours, and then, well, yeah, he specifically chose Forrest Gump for me. But I
Right.
feel like this year I fired at Clive. I feel like you fired at Clive. Um,
Yeah,
And we
I
both
fired
missed
at
each other, I
Clive
think.
fired at Ron, but I don't think
this is
Clive
what I
really
mean.
fired
This is
at
what I
you.
mean. You've teamed up
Yeah.
against me. This is not fair. There's no way
Yeah.
your
I
choice
think
was aimed at Ron.
last year I think I lucked out by getting one that actually kind of like ricocheted off you and hit you as well. But yeah, I don't I don't it's much harder to choose one that gets both,
Both,
that
yeah,
Yeah.
gets both because
Well,
also because Nick, we don't know each other's tastes quite as well, and I think our tastes are probably a little bit more aligned
probably.
than with Clive's, right? So
well,
yeah, so
I
it's a little
always
harder.
do admire someone being honest. So, Nick, thank you for stepping up to the plate and admitted that you cheated.
I don't know if it's cheating. I think it's
No,
just
no, don't go back
how
on it now. You've
I think
said
it's
it.
how it
It's
played
true.
out
It's admitted. It's
this
there.
year.
You're
So I
both a
will
couple of
say
assholes.
no, because
Let's move on.
it's definitely possible, as I said, Clive, for you to have shot a bullet that would have hit both of us. Because I think the Issei Sagawa film did. I think it did the job last year. But I think if you go for squeamish, you'll probably hit me and Ron. Something that's like,
Mm.
yeah. Whereas boring is not gonna cut it with me.
Mm.
I can really get into boring.
Well,
But we'll get there.
just to, I don't usually do spoilers, but this is a year in advance. So, have
Hmm.
you, by any chance, Nick, started watching Satan Tango yet?
No, I have not.
Do not.
Okay, hold off.
But that is my choice for next year's Valentine's show,
Tango.
aimed at both of you.
Okay, okay.
It's the
Satan Tango.
7.5 hour black and white
What?
Hungarian classic Satan Tango.
7.5 hours. Come
Yep,
on.
it
We'll
is.
have to do it. I'll have to do it an hour a week
Yeah,
for
you've got a
6 weeks.
year, so
Yeah, yeah.
you can watch a minute a day if you like. But you may not double speed it. You may not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You have
yeah, yeah.
to. You have to swear on something
Okay.
holy to you. That you will watch the whole thing. But that's next year.
Yes, yes.
Right.
So how do you want to attack this year then, Clive? What do you want to
Right.
do?
I just wanted to bring up, just in case this is happening, it might just be my end. You both are kind of freezing every now and again, your video, but your audio
Okay.
isn't. So I think we're all right.
Okay.
But just to warn people, we may talk over each other a little bit more than usual because we're not getting the visual cues. So
Okay.
apologies for that. I don't know what's going on. It might get better. But yeah, so I was thinking, seeing as you are technically still the guest, although it seems like you're coming on for next year as well, because I want to
Hmm.
hear you talk about Sit and Tango. But yeah, seeing as you are still kind of the guest until you
Hmm.
move in full time and you bring your record collection mixes with us. Oh
Hmm.
God, that reminds me. I don't want to give Nick Ron ammunition here, but that reminds me of that horrible high fidelity film. Um,
Hmm.
anyway, so you choose
Yeah.
which order do you think we should we should? I know you're writing it down, Ron. You don't even have to mime it. I know how your insidious mind works after this time. Um,
Um,
yeah, what do you want to do, Nick?
I think maybe we'll go me, uh, Ron, and you. Actually, I think we'll save Brown Bunny for the end. I have a funny feeling that maybe that might be the richest discussion, but I could be wrong. But that's my
Okay, so
feeling.
we're doing episode
Yes. Hmm.
and then
Episode.
Hmm.
Ay, ay, ay.
yeah. And then Brown Bunny. Right, okay. So what did you choose, Nick, then? What was your weapon of choice here?
Okay. Well, so when we first talked about this, I think I imagined we all had two guns, which would have been 6 films. And Clive was like, no, 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 we get one bullet for 2 people, so you've got to try to make it work. But I had chosen the like literally the week after last year's episode. I was like, oh shit, I know,
Disgusting, shameful behavior. That's all
I
I'm gonna
know.
say.
So there's two things that come up fairly consistently if you watch any of the I don't know how much Clive talks about Star Wars here because I don't know how much Ron brings it up. But
What?
certainly
Never heard of it.
I,
What is it?
I've stopped trying because he just shoots me down. So
right. So
I
What's
was
to
gonna wear
talk
my one
about?
of I was gonna wear one of my many Star Wars shirts today, but I decided to forego it. But yeah, I noticed that you got
Oh
one, but
my God.
I have several. So just to let you know, you didn't certainly didn't catch me this year.
Are
no, and
you
I did.
both competing for Scumbag of the Year competition or something?
So yeah, so I definitely was well aware that I thought, well, Ron's I had another choice in mind for you, Ron. And
Mm,
that I think would have been more effective in terms of causing you
mm.
discomfort. But
Are you
Clive said,
saving that for next year then? Is that a double blow?
well, yeah, I'm still cogitating, but yes, it won't be
Okay.
so one-sided next year. But
Don't
anyway, so
cogitate on air, please. This is a family
okay.
audience.
Yes. So here's the thing. So the rules of the show, if you don't know, we haven't actually established what the ground rules are,
Oh,
is
yes.
that is that the film that you choose has to be a film that you like and
Yes, that's the key.
Mm,
That's the key.
that the other people are going to find
mm.
painful or difficult in some way. Um, and so there is a workaround here because in actual fact, George Lucas's Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, is not a good film by any stretch of the
Hot
imagination.
take by Nick there.
It's not a film I love. or even particularly,
Possibly the best of the prequels to
but still
sequels.
certainly, I think
Yeah.
the best of the prequels.
The best of the prequels. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember actually laughing aloud in the cinema with my wife during certain scenes of it.
Yeah.
Which
Really?
we'll
Wow.
get
I
to,
would have just been weeping, I think, if someone had dragged me in to see it. Like,
see in the cinema. Yeah.
yeah.
So, however, there's this other thing that Clive, funnily enough, also hates,
Yes.
which this is the
Is
wonderful
Rift Track.
synergy of my
This
choice.
reminded me I was correct to do so as well. But carry on.
So there's another thing, Mystery Science Theater 3000, a TV show which lasted 10 seasons, um, which basically is two robots and a dude trapped in a satellite, forced to watch bad
Hitler
films.
was the chancellor for 12 years.
Um, and okay, that seems an apt and fair comparison.
I think
Um,
so. That's what they
so
call me, apt and fair.
so yeah. So basically, when that show finished, the creators continued to do something called riff tracks, where they would release an audio commentary track that could be synced up with a film to get around copyright issues. So they make, and then obviously your mileage will vary. I find them funny. Many people do. Many people don't. They're a bit of a Marmite situation here, or a Sparks,
Yeah,
if you
if
would.
Marmite was shit.
There you go. Which
Because
you'll find.
the Sparks, I'm not as Sparksy as you, but
No.
I kind of get it. I get it.
Do you get why people don't like them as well, though?
No, I don't understand why people don't like them.
Don't like the Sparks. Okay, all
No,
right.
I
But the
I
rest,
understand why they don't love them to bits, but I don't
right.
understand why someone would dislike them. No.
I mean, I don't get it either. But these things are kind of your kind of
Right.
things
Where
where
do you
yeah, where
stand on
people
Sparks, Ron?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
they're a
Why would
band.
they dislike a Sparks as a band?
It's a
Yeah,
band,
the
yes.
band Sparks.
Oh, I've never
Uh,
heard of them.
this town ain't big enough for the both of us is maybe the
Actually, Ron,
biggest
you
hit.
would. I suspect you might really like
Yes, I
Sparks.
think Ron would like
I
Sparks a
think you
lot.
would
Okay.
really like Sparks. So maybe
Just
maybe look into that.
SBARKS.
Yes.
In fact, I
What
would
kind of
say
music?
maybe you want what you actually want to do might be perfect gateway drug.
Is to watch the
Edgar
documentary.
Wright
Yeah.
directed a documentary about Sparks.
And it's
Okay.
good. Yeah. So
I think
yeah.
it's good if you like Sparks or if you're interested in Sparks, and I think Ron would enjoy it because it's a fun doc, even if you don't kind of.
I could talk for a half an hour about Sparks, so we're
Yeah,
not going to do
don't do that
that.
because
So we're going to stop here. But if you have
yeah,
Where are they
questions,
from?
LA originally.
Oh, okay.
Their two brothers
All right.
are the
Okay.
and they've been playing since the 60s, late 60s.
Oh, really? Okay.
But
Yeah,
they're
I don't know.
awesome.
yeah.
If
I think Ron will dig them actually. They may even turn out to be
Okay.
his new favorite band.
they could be, I
Oh,
might have
really?
to do you a huge favor, Ron, possibly. I
Okay.
suspect I
Sure.
might
Great.
have.
Thanks.
I
Or
believe
you'll,
you owe Nick a
I
reach
did. I
around
did want to tell
when
you,
we
Clive.
meet
I forgot to
in.
mention.
Uh,
I forgot to mention, Clive, that I did enjoy Wet Leg. So
oh, excellent,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you that I did look them
Oh,
up and I did enjoy them.
nice. I thought you might. Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. So fill me in
That's
really
a
quick.
band also,
Okay, all
but
right.
there's no 2.5 hour Edgar Wright documentary about them. So just, I would
Yeah.
recommend Wet Leg Chaise Longue is probably
Oh.
the starting
Oh,
point you want.
Okay.
one of the Sparks. One of their names are Ron. So hey,
Yes, Ron Mail.
Ron,
Yeah, he is
yeah,
he is
forgot
the,
about that.
the songwriter.
all
Yeah,
right,
Yeah,
because
good
no,
you
one. Clive.
automatically love everyone else called Ron,
Yes, you gotta love him.
Ron
It's a
Swanson.
good name.
including Christopher Walken, of course, whose real name is Ronald.
It is.
I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have actually told you that before, Ron, but never mind.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I told you about Bon Scott, right? Yeah, I might because technically Bon Scott name was actually Ron Scott.
Right.
Right?
Oh,
He went by Bon. Yeah.
The
So
pen
Bon
just
was like
kind
a
of
nickname from Ron.
went round the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
so
Oh,
so yeah.
fuck, we got to go
Anyway.
back to this now.
We got to go back.
Okay,
Yes,
carry
yes.
on, yeah.
Right. So yeah. So
Let's
basically,
talk about
yes.
Sparks.
So as I was saying, riff tracks or Mystery Science Theater 3000 is something that definitely divides people. I come down firmly on the side of liking it.
Which is amazing to me. I
most
still
of the time.
can't quite understand that. That's like how
Okay.
yeah, I don't.
When I think I was probably 19 or 20 and living with my mate Paul.
Someone punched you in the head and you still have brain
No,
damage.
we were so Paul. We were going to Paul, Paul is the lead in Meat
Meat
Market.
market, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, with the beautiful pompadour at the time. So he, yeah, he
John
was the one.
Waters tried to chat him up. We've done
Yes,
this. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
Paul. So yeah, no, we would go to the video shop regularly together, and there were things. So he was also like he was kind of my gateway into a lot of the Italian trash and certainly the weirder stuff and the crappier stuff like Bruno Mattei and then the Spanish stuff like Jess Franco, all that stuff. That Paul was kind of the person who introduced me, but he also was a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000. So
Unbelievable.
we were renting the tapes, watching them. I think the first one I watched was Pod People, Spanish. Um,
This person who you've built up now, who I've never met, but I've always had a
I
great
know
amount
has
of
just dropped in
respect
your
for
estimation considerably. Yes.
because of what you talked. And
Mhm.
now you've just destroyed his reputation with one foul swoop.
There we go. One foul swoop. I like that.
Yes, because it is. It's foul.
With the chicken, a chicken hitting
Yes.
with the
Yeah.
chicken, a foul swoop.
Yeah, it's like Monty Python, the rubber chicken, right? And they hit you with it.
So yes. So in order to get around the clause or the caveat that I have to like the film, I chose a version of a film that I don't like, that I do like, that I knew would hurt Clive all the more because he'd have to basically watch one of the worst Star
I
Wars films
I thought
with
Rod was
jokes
bad,
attached.
but you're cheating to cheat. This is unbelievable. You're like layers of
Of just
despicable behavior.
yes. So for those who don't know, Star Wars is a science fiction. No, I mean I don't know where to be where to begin. I'm gonna take it as read that most of us know what Star Wars is, and that
Which is
probably
a great shame.
a lot of us have seen Episode 3 before. So I suppose the question I
Quick
don't know how.
question:
Yeah,
do they have a riff tracks for episodes 1 and 2?
oh, they have them for all nine.
All
Well,
nine. Okay. Okay.
and I think Rogue One and
Okay.
Solo. I think they've done a riff tracks for
Yay!
every.
Okay.
Um, and
You're
actually,
set for the next 11 years then.
yeah. Well, we're definitely doing Empire Strikes Back next.
Did I mention, by the way, there's a new clause in the show? No more Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I figured once is
If I'm no longer allowed to bring porn to the table to annoy Ron,
okay.
he's not. No one's allowed to bring Star Wars anymore either.
Seems fair. So, Clive, you actually had seen this before. I thought maybe this would be a first view for you for some reason because your feelings about Star Wars, and that like at this point, like Episode 3, how the hell as just somebody
Why?
who doesn't think Empire Strikes Back, how have they seen Episode 3?
Because it was still just. When did this come out? Which year did this come out?
2005.
There we go. So I was still watching everything at that point. It's about 2009, 2010 is when I kind of stopped doing that. Up until then, I was kind of still watching anything pretty much. Any new, like anything big.
And tentpole, you were there.
Yeah, I was watching everything.
Is it in your book?
Yeah. No, actually, I was quite pleased. Actually, this wasn't by design, but when the book came out just before, I had to pull thousands of reviews because there was just too much. So we went over the page count, and I can't remember what went and what did. I've still got it backed up and stuff as text, but they may come out someday. But I was quite pleased to find out while checking my book today that none of the Star Wars films are in there. They should be, actually. They really should be. But because it's a bit lopsided, it doesn't matter now in this day and age. That book seems a little bit from a slightly different time. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, they're not in there. No. But I did write a review of it.
So you had seen it once, I assume.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but
I'm not
not
that
again.
fucking, yeah, no.
Right.
Although
So
I suppose now I have seen it twice, so
twice.
thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Yeah, that goes for both of you, by the way.
So
Look at
yeah.
the glee you're
So
taking
maybe-
in this. This is just sadistic. You
maybe
should be
maybe
fucking
Ron,
ICE agents.
maybe Ron, maybe you should speak to it because because my feeling was going into this, I don't know that Ron is gonna uh maybe Ron likes episode three and is gonna be annoyed by the jokes. So this was my best hope. Or maybe Ron doesn't like episode three, so that'll be painful for him.
Which would be worse?
Jokes.
Which would
Or
tarnish a person's reputation
but I,
more?
I knew that both levels would cause Clive great discomfort. It would
Yeah,
be sandpaper
sure.
on his balls
I thought
for a good
I
2
thought
hours.
maybe because I remember I talked in the past about Mystery Science Theater 3000 and
Mhm.
being disappointed by it, that I wanted to love
Yeah.
it, that I wanted it to be, but that I remember
Go for
I
it,
talked to you
Ron.
about it. So
Woo!
that every time I've watched it, that I like that type of thing, and I really
Mhm.
wanted to like it, but then usually I found kind of the jokes a little bit flat and not
Right.
that interesting. So I thought maybe that's why you were going for that version for me, which is that maybe you were thinking that maybe I wouldn't do it. But episode three is, I mean, as I said, it's probably the best of the prequel
Mhm.
trilogy, and and I have like a special place for Star Wars in my heart just because, and I'll overlook the shit of the prequel trilogies and the sequel trilogies, I guess too, right, to some degree. Um, and because I also bond with my son over Star Wars too. So actually we watched this together. So I got to
Oh,
so I got to watch it
interesting.
with my son. So yeah, so actually I actually enjoyed it quite a lot because we got to kind of like sit and watch it, and he likes Star Wars, and so we both talked about it, and then I told him, hey, I got this version where they kind of make jokes over it, and so we were on our commute,
So you
we sat
watched
and watched
both
it.
versions with your son. You had
Well,
originally,
yeah, I
yeah,
had seen episode three
right.
before.
Okay.
Yeah, so he had already seen it, and so I said, "Oh, let's watch this new one with jokes." And he's sort of kind of developing his sense of humor as well, and so we kind of watched it. And yeah, I mean, not all the jokes were winners. There's a lot of
No,
kind
for
of like
sure.
kind of
In
I
fact,
mean,
I will
but
even say,
it's hard to have every single line having a winning joke, right? But
mhm.
there was a couple good ones in there, and we laughed and actually I quite enjoyed it because we got to kind of bond over it a little bit more and stuff like that. So and enjoy and a couple of the jokes have sort of I really enjoyed all the Samuel Jackson stuff. That was
Mhm.
it makes me just laugh a lot. And yeah, a couple of, I mean, yeah, not all the jokes were
Yes.
great, but it was, I mean, yeah, it was fun to I had lots of fun watching it, so I had no
So
problem at all.
an absolute
Take
failure in terms of the what this show is intended to do for Ron.
Yes.
take
For
note.
sure, for me, it was not at all.
Damp
It
squib.
was actually, it probably would have been worse to just watch episode three again because I've seen it several times. So to
Right.
watch that again would just be annoying. But watching it with in a new way actually made it fresh. So actually, it was even better than
So I
usual.
made it better for you.
Take
Yes.
note that the right-wing politics we were talking about before we came on air has now infiltrated our podcast because that's a classic. Like first, they've admitted that they want
Hmm.
to do me harm, right? That's on
Hmm.
the record. And then Ron cunningly he places it so when I'm going to say something negative, it actually looks like I'm attacking him and his son and his family and his family
Yes, absolutely.
values.
Yeah. Mhm.
This
Bring
is
it. See if you
fucking
can actually do it. Yeah.
this is
If
fucking
anything bad you say
reform politics. This is
Yeah,
Nigel
yeah.
anything
Farage
bad you
is
say
behind you both.
Clive, it's
anything bad you
gaslighting.
say is directed directly at my son. So yeah,
Yes,
you
yes.
better
No,
watch
no,
your mouth.
it's a mix of performative cruelty, Clive, and gaslighting. That's what it's all
So
about.
when
Which
did they
is the
get to
best.
you? Tell me now, when did Farage and how much is he paying you both? Like,
No. It was Dave Filoni and George Lucas who
Yeah,
sold me
yeah.
this stack of
who's
cash.
Dave
So
Filoni?
Dave Filoni is the you don't want to know,
He,
Clive.
No,
he's
I
the
don't know the
new kind
name.
of
Who is Dave Filoni?
he's the new head of Lucasfilm, I think, or is that right?
So
Or is
he's the yeah, I think so, but he's the guy who's been basically writing most of what
yeah,
always has
he
been
came in and did the show Rebels
and
and
the
The
Clone Wars.
Mandalorian, and he's basically kind of like gave it its new renaissance, the whole thing after the
Yeah, no,
kind of
you're
the
right. I don't want to
tragedy
know. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I knew.
So,
of the
yeah.
so and now Kathleen Kennedy's leaving and he's taking over, right? Isn't that
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes, or he's the
Uh,
co-head or something, I think, right?
so here's actually, Clive, do you want to just get it out of the way with and unload, and then I'll say
No.
what.
I mean, to be honest, I like the child, like the parent to the child. It's not that I'm angry; it's that I'm disappointed.
Right. Well,
I
yes.
mean,
Well,
I'm there's no point because it's like no, I don't. And no, it's
I
Star
don't think
Wars Episode
I'm
3,
not
right?
going to be
I
hurt
mean,
either way. I don't
I
care at all. I just want to know,
I
did it work? Was it uncomfortable?
yeah, it
Was it
fucking
unpleasant?
worked, you fucking cunt.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's all I care about.
Well,
So,
first off,
Clive, can you
shame.
search your feelings? Search your feelings,
Well,
Clive.
it's a shame that we don't live in a world where, having now heard that Ron has shown his
Wait,
Star Wars Episode 3,
wait, wait,
I
wait.
can't.
Well, wait,
Hmm.
Clive, you don't like Star Wars?
Ha ha ha.
No. Oh.
What a shame that I can't call child services
Hmm.
to come round because, you've made him watch Star Wars and fucking MST3K. You should have shown him Kez, and then he'd have grown up to be a well-balanced man like me.
Yes.
Right.
The old Kes Watership Down double bill.
Taka the
You already made
Octa.
me watch Kez.
Huh?
You
Yes,
already made me
did.
watch Kez.
You haven't made your children watch it, we assume.
Yeah, that's true.
See? That's not right. Anyway.
So
No,
I
think
I am curious. We've never actually really talked about this. Can you summarize in maybe in like a short paragraph or persuasive essay why it is that you dislike Star Wars so much?
well, no, it's not. I mean, it's not a blanket like everything is absolutely 100%.
There we go.
So there we go. Clearly, Lucasfilm is
Attempted to
trying to
redact the
silence
testimony.
me,
Redacting it.
which is just fucking typical. I'm not surprised. Again, I'm just this. But no, I mean, I can't. It's me. It's not you, it's me. It's my reaction to so many things. It's indicative. However, let's stick with the film at hand. I mean, because the thing is, I'm not trying to be provocative. I genuinely, like, as soon as it started, I was watching it and I was kind of ignoring the refracs to begin with because I was just trying to, center myself in this world. And I mean, literally like a minute in, my eyes are looking at anything else in the room because I just can't. It's just bouncing off. It's just, and then it gets worse because at least that opening scene is like kind of very badly done action space scene or whatever. And then it gets into one of these interminable talk. I don't mind talky scenes, but it's good actors dressed like twats, talking fucking boring bollocks gibberish that even people who like Star Wars admit they're not interested.
Yes.
And in that very portentous way. And you also know that nothing around them is real.
Yep.
So they're sitting in a fucking green screen thing in Burbank. And I can't, nothing is between me and that layer of reality. So I'm just seeing straight through it, feeling sorry for these actors, which I shouldn't because they're getting paid enormous amounts of money. But the toll on their souls, I mean, it's just, that's what I mean. It makes me talk like that. I'm not doing that for comic effect. This makes me go there. I start thinking about the despair of human existence and why it's horrible. It's horrible soul sucking. It's inverted entertainment as far as I'm concerned. It's like go to the movies and have a bad time. It's just I don't get why everyone doesn't think like this. I'm sorry. I just that is the honest truth. And then there's a layer of some motherfucking students getting stoned, going, oh, good one, good one. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I went and did everything possible to kind of ignore this thing. Oh my God, this is just horrendous. It's the worst thing ever made.
To be honest, I thought that you might like it better than just the movie itself, because I thought because the riff track is kind of making fun of the movie, so I thought you would have appreciated hearing
No,
someone make fun of the
I
movie that you
No,
are
knew.
if
not
they were
enjoying.
No. I
funny,
knew that
yes.
would be salt. It would be
And what?
salt in the wound.
Yeah, he's kind of outdone you in a weird way, even though it's no, it's. But what amazes me more than anything else, I mean, well, obviously you as well now, Ron. I'm guessing you found the riff tracks thing funny. You said,
In parts, right?
Parts of it, yeah,
yeah.
bits and pieces, yeah.
But I've always been. It's a new thing for you, but because I didn't know that because you didn't know. But for years, that's the one thing about with Nick. I puzzled. You know, you have friends and they have one thing. You're like, ah,
No, there's two.
he's
There's
a
two, Clive.
gambling addict, or I don't know. He's just something or other. But the one thing I've never understood, the deep, long, dark nights of the soul, when you wake up in the middle of the night, Nick, he's like a brother to me. But why does he like Mystery Science Theater? Like, what's wrong with him? Like, seriously, should I
Well, what's the other
intervene?
thing, Nick?
Well, no, it was my choice for last year's show.
Oh,
The
oh
Michael
yeah.
Oh
Bay.
yeah, of course, yeah. No, I see that as
Time
just a youthful
indiscretion.
indiscretion. You'll come
Ah,
round on that one. One day you'll say to me, Clive, you were right. I've wasted my years listening to Jim Steinman. But unfortunately, I think you might actually genuinely find the Mystery Science Theater 3000 People funny, which is disturbing to me. I mean, that questions every time I've made you laugh, because I thought I had made him laugh.
right.
But
Right.
then these other dudes made him laugh, so that's no
Yes.
indicator of
Yes.
actually something being funny.
Hmm.
So did you have a great time watching this again then, Nick?
No, no, I wouldn't say a great time. I would say actually
Aha!
that, but I mean, no, I mean, I was more aware, I think, this time of the jokes that weren't landing for sure. Because
Oh
this is,
yeah, you mean like absolutely all of them?
well, no, no, I do find parts of it amusing. But I would say, um, yeah, no, I definitely noticed this time that there were that the filler stuff seemed more like filler than it had before. In terms of that, the movie itself. I mean, it's kind of a bit worrying to think of how many times have I actually seen episode three. I probably seen
Mm.
it like with riff tracks. That's probably my third viewing.
Hang on. You've
This,
watched the Riff Tracks version 3 times.
yes, this would be my third viewing of the riff tracks version, and I've probably seen it another two times without riff tracks.
Mm.
So I've seen this film 5 times.
Yeah,
Well,
I've seen
I'm
it
censoring
around five
myself.
times too. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah. It's my first
what?
time with the riff tracks, but I've seen it maybe five times this. Yeah.
Wow. At least you have the excuse of children.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even have
No.
that
Yeah.
excuse.
Mm.
I will go through phases where I'll get excited about Star Wars again and want to watch
Mhm.
it all, and then I'll always regret that quite quickly into episode one. I'm like, oh, I should not have started here. There are alternate
Yeah.
viewing orders that are suggested, but
Mm.
other
When
than
I first showed my son when he was like 4 or 5, the first time we watched them all, I think we did the machete order. So which was
yes, that would be
yeah, which
my
was
preferred, I
yeah,
think,
yeah. Yeah.
way
Clive
to.
is like, "What's the machete order?" Actually, I don't fucking care.
He doesn't want to know.
No, I'm just surprised by the use of the word machete.
I don't know why they call it the
I
machete
think
order,
since
but because
you cut
you
one film
hack them
out.
and try, yeah, yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you do like 4 or 5, and then you cut out one. Was that the idea? You cut out one,
yes,
and then
yes.
Watch the
and then you
Indiana
do.
Jones films instead. That's what it means.
Well, that would actually,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Right,
funny that you don't
yeah.
mind those. But I mean, there is.
Except
They're
for the
good.
last two.
Well, at
Well,
least, yeah. The first one's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Not
And
not
the
Chris, not
second
Christmas Cole.
one's
I
was
quite
my
like
favorite as a
I
kid.
quite like Temple of
Yeah.
Doom.
Because it was so
Yeah, I
gross.
like the first three. Yeah,
But
it was the
that's
Crystal Skull,
interesting.
which was shit.
I I mean, I will say if we're going to criticize the actual film, there. I mean, I think my biggest issue, other than all the things that Clive said about episode three, are absolutely true. Right? There's no question. There is something
I
kind
don't
of
think I actually
Yeah.
said anything about it, but
no, you did. You talked about that experience of
That
being pushed
CGI,
out
too much
at-
CGI.
Oh
And
right,
at
okay.
middle, and it
Yes.
kind of
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Sorry,
glazing over your-
I was in a red rage. I don't actually remember anything that I
you
said.
know, good actors turning in.
I might have said it was great as
Yeah,
far as I could
the
remember.
thing that always makes me like confused when I watch the prequel, the whole trilogy, is Natalie Portman, who is
I
like
know.
who is
Wins an Oscar
who's
a few years later.
undeniably like an excellent actress, but she is so terrible in the and all I can imagine is that she was told to do that.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And I can't understand why. Like it's because she's
And the
like
complete
even more than Hayden Christensen, who I haven't really decided if he's actually good or not because I haven't really seen him in many other things. But I mean, I all I can assume is that they were all actually relatively decent actors that were told to act as flat as possible, which I'm not really sure why that is.
That's the one thing
Yeah,
I've never had a
Natalie
problem.
Portman is the biggest question mark for me. But
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
one thing I've never had a problem with actually is Hayden Christensen, but that's
yeah.
just because I don't care,
Oh.
right? So when
right.
people
Oh,
are
right, yeah.
annoyed about him, it's like,
Mm.
oh, like,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
no, someone put a turd on top of that turd. What a shame! It's a turd now. But yes, no, agreed about Natalie Portman again, and you can almost feel her trying really hard, right?
Yeah.
She's really
Yeah.
trying to kind of. Hayden Christensen is just confused because he just got out.
Yes.
But
And Ewan
But
McGregor
I
is,
mean,
I think, the greatest question mark for me because, I mean, I do know that
oh,
supposedly he's been quite frank about having developed a drinking problem as a
oh yeah, you
result.
can.
mm,
I can see he's no problem. I get what he's doing. He's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me because he does look like someone kind of out of his head, and I
he's
get
like,
to pretend to
I
be
got
Sir
stuck
John
into
Gielgud today, and and not Sir John Gielgud, sorry, the other one.
Alec Guinness.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Um. Anyway, yeah, he's thinking I'm Laurence Olivier today, and he's just he's having a grand old time. He's not really listening to things
Yeah.
anyone's saying to him, and yeah, he's just
Um,
I did like the one
sorry.
joke that was like the train spotting joke. Was like, okay, let's go get Sick Boy and
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's the thing.
yeah,
He's kind of yeah. I've always liked Ewan McGregor because he reminds me of like he's one of those few properly like we got some of them, but he's like the working class actor who's done
mm,
well for himself, right?
Mhm.
And
he's
you're
done well.
always like,
Yeah,
go on, go for a new one.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really always kind of a weirdly proud because he's from that gen. I grew
mm,
up, I saw Trainspotting in a theater when I was too
Mhm.
young,
mm,
and it's just yeah, good for you. We won't go for it. I don't care.
mm.
Even you survived being in Star Wars. Go on, up you go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm assuming, Clive, that you also watched the fairly recent Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series that he reprised the role in, right? And
I
Hayden
just
Christensen
can't
came
stop
back.
watching it. My God,
Okay.
it's on constant rotation. It's
I
on
will
now,
I did.
actually.
Yeah.
I'm half watching it while I'm.
I will say, in fairness to both of them, Hayden Christensen came back and was quite a bit better an actor in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
series. And
yeah. He had a lot less to do though, so that to
he
be fair.
did. That's fair.
Yeah,
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 it was less dramatic heavy
yeah,
lifting for him for
I was
sure.
yeah, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I was in a movie theater a couple of days ago, watching the new Sam Raimi film, and
Hmm.
a
Oh, yeah, how is
trailer.
it? Good.
As it's all right.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
suspension of disbelief is really stretched,
Hmm.
but
Okay.
you'll really enjoy it. I think, Ron. It's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun.
I think I will. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely my kind of thing. So
But anyway, but they showed a trailer for. Is there a new Star Wars? So the Japanese title was
yes,
Star Wars
Starfighter, right?
Mandalorian and
And
uh,
Grogu. Yeah,
Grogu.
Grogu. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, because they finished the TV show and they're finishing it up with the movie. Yeah, so it's coming out this year.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Pedro
yeah.
Pascal. Um,
I'm definitely gonna. Yeah, my son and I are super excited about that. So we're definitely gonna
get behind me.
Well, I did have one question for Nick. Why
yeah,
did you? I mean, technically, episode
mm,
3 is, I guess, debatably the best of the prequel trilogy.
right.
What if you're looking for something that he would hate? Why didn't you go for episode 2, for example?
I mean, it is a good question. In actual fact, if I purely wanted to cause us all discomfort, I would have gone with episode one because it's actually not. It's
Oh,
a
that
poor
yeah.
riff. It's a poor riff tracks on top of
Oh,
the
really?
worst
Oh,
Star Wars
okay.
Oh,
film.
like all of them.
However, yeah, there you go. It's
For
yeah, from my perspective. Um, so yeah, I think I was kind of meeting in the middle,
ah,
possibly, and also it's the longest one, and there was an element of me
mm,
that perversely wanted Clive to watch the
right.
longest possible Star
Right.
Wars film with riff tracks on top of it.
Right.
So
Okay, it makes sense.
running time is probably
It's
the
like
major
it's like waterboarding, but you were like burning my feet with hot coals at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just pure sadism.
Just
And everyone thinks, oh, isn't that Nick
Mm.
a nice chap? Isn't he nice? Isn't he wild man? He doesn't say weird sexual stuff on air like Clive does. And he's a teacher. Isn't he nice? And now we find out what actually is going on behind that facade, that veneer of being a
I had
nice
another
guy.
question.
Yep.
I was wondering if Clive, if you having the fact, I mean, you've seen all of the prequel trilogy, right?
To my great shame, yes.
Yeah. Because I wasn't sure because the riff tracks used a recurring joke of making fun of the sand several times. I was wondering if you even knew what that was you referring to. No, okay, so yeah, because that was one of the recurring jokes that they had, which was actually from episode 2. So, so that's
I would say in some ways I really like and again, but don't worry, Clive, they'll never rear their head.
Oh yeah, sorry. No more Star Wars, no more riff tracks. That's the other.
Yes, exactly. Both. Yes, we'll keep both. But actually,
from you,
Ron,
but
Ron,
I mean,
if you
No,
Ron,
no, it's a blanket ban.
Ron, if you got along well with this, okay, and you did want to see more, their riff of Empire Strikes Back is actually my favorite of all of them.
Okay.
Part of the reason is that, do you remember Chad Vader, who was an internet celebrity of the
No.
early 2000s? No. Okay, well, anyway, he was a guy who did a fairly, I like Klaus just left. He did a fairly good impression of, of James Earl Jones's Darth Vader. But
Okay.
anyway, it doesn't matter. It was a web series. But anyway, he guests on it, and they start weaving a lot of jokes in to the original trilogy that kind of call back to the prequel trilogy and point out all the things that don't line up properly or make any sense or need to be
right. Okay.
or continuity and so on.
Just cleaning the cat litter. Let me know when you stop talking about Star Wars. I'll be back.
Anyway, I'm done, and in fact, I'm ready to shut all of this down. Except that I will answer to your question, Ron. Clive has talked on other shows about the fact that he was a huge fan of the old 1930s serials that Star Wars is kind of made from, right?
Yeah.
He was a big fan of Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers and that stuff. And so for him, he came to Star Wars after having already seen that stuff, and he could see what it was. Whereas I came to it as a 6-year-old in the cinema, sat down
as well.
Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back to back, and was completely absorbed, completely believed in alien worlds and double suns and the whole thing, left shaken by the revelation. Spoilers.
You're even blaming your childhood selves for your own shortcomings. This is truly despicable behavior, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so
I don't know if I should even put this on YouTube.
Actually, just recently found I have a scanned copy of like a journal entry that my son had done for his English class when he was about 5 or 6 years old, and it said like, oh, we just watched The Empire Strikes Back. I was really shocked to find out that spoiler that Darth Vader was Luke's son. Was Luke's father, right? So anyway, so I actually have a page where from
that
where
revelation.
my son had the revelation. So
anyway,
so so I think
Star Wars,
Clive is just of an age where he was just the wrong age.
Having grown up in the 30s, it's just too much.
Right.
Too loud. I'd rather listen to some Radio 4.
And, being a huge Alec Guinness fan as well, you definitely felt, like my granddad did about Burgess Meredith.
Well, exactly. Me and your granddad, we would have been good drinking buddies.
You would have loved each other, I think. You could have just raged together about great actors lowering themselves to be in kitty.
Anyway, Star Wars, hi.
We're done.
Hi.
Although, one last thing. I can actually see what's at the bottom of your shirt. This is my what?
Oh, this is my happy face.
Happy face. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, got it.
Twisting the knife. Anyway, thank God. We got rid of Star Wars and now we're talking. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. I think I'll leave again. Ron, what are you and Nick going to talk
and now it's on to
me.
I
leave the room?
Actually, what's interesting is this film and the final film we're going to talk about are both the same year. And in fact, we're all within 2 years of each other. It's 2003,
Yeah, early
2005.
2000s. Yeah.
What was going on? Um,
Yeah. So, do mine next? Is that the idea?
yes.
Yeah, mine next. Okay, so mine was 2003's
Again,
School of
aimed
Rock.
at me solely,
But
clearly.
that's,
You
Yeah,
didn't
yes.
enter his
yeah,
little brain, I don't think.
No.
yeah. No, but I was hoping that maybe like I you were sort of like a ricochet last year. I was hoping that maybe as an educator that this would have like offended your sensibilities as an educator or something.
No, no, it was all too relatable in certain parts, particularly
Yeah,
on the
sure. I
plot
thought,
theme.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Is that you
Yeah,
mean that bit
so
when he says, I've touched your kids? Is that?
no, Clive, that's
Oh,
not.
okay. Just making sure.
Hmm.
yeah, so 2003 School of Rock starring Jack Black, directed by who's the director again?
Richard, well, you,
Richard
Richard
Linklater,
Linklater.
Linklater again, right?
Who
Right.
we've
So,
decided Ron looks like.
Hmm.
yes, apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
And did Linklater did Almost
Blacker.
Famous too, right?
No, that was Cameron
No,
Crowe. So I
who
was
did Almost
confused.
Famous?
I
Cameron
assumed,
Crowe.
I
Sorry, I
assumed
get
that
them
No,
this was
confused with
another
this.
Cameron Crowe
I
film.
I have
Yeah,
problems
it
with
seemed
Richard
like
Linklater, but just to jump to his defense, he would never direct Almost Famous. I mean, he made this and those fucking Notebooks out again, Ron, before fucking Sunrise films.
See,
Sunrise
actually,
Ones. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to say this. I was going to say if Ron had wanted to cause me discomfort,
So
he
there we
could
go.
have almost
Next
chosen
year,
any
we've
of
got two of
Linklater's other
the already. We've
films.
got Satan Tango and before
Any of the
Sunrise.
before films? Is that
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
said? Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Insufferable, Ethan Hawke,
Yeah, but at
Boring
least
Chick.
Linklater, his bad films, you kind of he wouldn't go Almost Famous. That's kind of that's one step too
But,
far for
but I
Linklater.
think I find a lot of that
Right.
early
Okay.
90s slacker kind of stuff to
Yeah,
be
it doesn't
very
date
hard
well.
now.
Yeah,
I think I would have been cringing far more. So for me, this was an absolute miss for me because I watched it with my wife and we both got along with it quite well. I have a few caveats and questions, but
well, just
overall,
going back to that Linklater thing as well, it is what so Slacker actually is kind of quite an interesting. The film that has the title it
mhm.
is actually quite interesting to watch now because what's interesting about Slacker is if you watch Slacker now, I think it actually still works, but it only works entirely as a time capsule.
Yeah,
Like if you think
Mm.
of it in that way, it's okay. But I when it was new, it wasn't just that. It was kind of thought of as
Zeit,
a little
Zeitgeist.
bit cool and goofy, but basically, and now
Mm.
it's just oh my God, this is so of its era.
Dated. Yeah,
Hmm.
of its time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
still kind of enjoy it
Um.
in that way. Yeah.
mm. Was this a first watch for you, Nick?
Yes, yeah. I'm
First
not
time.
sure
Okay.
how
Yeah.
I didn't see it before, but yeah, I hadn't.
Okay. And Clive, you've seen it? You'd seen it,
Unfortunately,
like
I
you said, you
haven't
saw
seen it before. Yeah.
because you had seen everything around this time, right? You were just saying that you've watched everything at the time. So you've seen. This
Well,
is
I
your
mean,
second
not
time.
absolutely everything, but yeah, if it was out and easy
Uh,
to see and yeah, certainly I would have. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Plus, as well,
Yeah.
I
So.
think when it was
Uh,
new, I think Jack Black hadn't yet become like a joke, if you see what I mean. Like, I
mm.
think he was still like,
Well, this sort of he had been in like High Fidelity and those kind of. I think this was his first real kind of like star vehicle, and
yeah, but you were still
this
kind of. I
started.
think people were still on the fence about him a little bit, like, oh well, I kind of see
Mm,
what he's doing here. He's playing the Hollywood game and doing this and doing that, but he might
mm,
basically be, okay. And to be honest, the thing with Jack Black is, I don't think I've ever really got off the fence at all. He's still, I don't quite know.
mm,
Like, I don't out and out hate him, but he consistently doesn't
mm.
do anything very good, as far as I can tell. But he
I
could,
my favorite thing that Jack Black ever
potentially.
My favorite thing he ever did was the couple of episodes of Mr. Show he did with David Cross and Bob
Oh,
Odenkirk.
okay.
I think
Mm.
there's one episode in particular that has a whole musical segment at the end based around the traveling salesman going to the farmer's thing with the holes in the wall. The holes joke. I'm sure you heard it as a child.
Mm.
If you haven't, then just go watch the episode. I think it's like one of the earliest episodes of Mr. Show. It might be episode 2.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it's great. But then, I mean, he was good. Do you remember him in Bob Roberts? He shows up in Bob Roberts for a couple of minutes
Oh, oh,
as
is
a
he
teen,
really? Okay.
and
Yeah.
he's as a young Republican, and he's great.
No,
So
that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like he's very like he never had because he never was like there's a lot of we've talked about this before on there's a lot of like comics, especially North American comics, who were shit hot stand-ups in a specific city.
Mm,
And by the
Mhm.
time they get to being in
mm,
Saturday Night Live or the Saturday Night Live spin-off film
mm,
for which everyone sees them, they've gone off the boil, right? And you don't really understand,
mm,
Right.
like why once upon a time people said like Dana Carvey, he's really funny. Because
Mhm.
by the time we all
mm.
see him, he's already become Garth
Stale.
or something, which is like it's
Right.
okay, but it's not what you expect, right? From shit
Right.
hot stand-up comic.
Mhm.
So, but Jack Black, again, I don't know his history. Does he have a stand-up? Like, does he have that red hot? I feel
I
it
don't think he
isn't.
did
I think he's
stand up.
always
I
an
don't think he
actor.
ever did.
Yeah,
No,
I think he's
Yeah,
so
I
always
think
that's
he
the
an
was
actor
an
weird thing.
slash
actor.
Like you said,
musician.
he's got these early bits like the Bob Robertson stuff, which are like, oh, okay. And then,
Mm,
yeah, it's odd. Again, that's why I don't out and out kind of hate him because I can imagine him doing something fucking amazing like one day. Like I can imagine him being cast in the right thing and he reels it in a bit, right? And he could be superb, I think, in something.
Well, it turns out that just to answer you, Nick, is that actually he went to UCLA with Tim Robbins,
Oh, okay.
and so they
Okay.
were in a they're in an acting troupe together, and that's how he ended up in Bob Roberts.
Okay, that makes.
And then yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
and
Have you ever
then
seen Heat, Vision, and Jack, 1999 TV movie with directed by Ben Stiller,
oh,
Jack
I
Black,
think
Owen
I
Wilson?
did. I saw it or I heard about it at least,
Oh,
anyways. But
and
yeah.
Ron Silver is in it
Oh
as
yeah.
well. There we go. So I quite like that when that came out in 1999. I thought
Mm,
it was a very kind of funny nod back to like 80s
mm,
shit like Manimal and
mm.
that kind of crap science fiction TV.
I'm looking forward to he's in this year him and Paul Rudd in an Anaconda reboot.
Oh,
I'm excited
right.
about that one.
Didn't that come
Yes.
out
I'm quite excited
already? I
about that
think
one.
that's
It might be, yeah,
it's
it
not
might have
very
come
good.
out.
It was
It
like
might have
this,
come out
yeah,
here.
just came out, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
it just came out
it
recently. I don't know if
didn't
it just
get
came out
very
here
good
yet, though.
reviews, I don't think.
Mm.
No, unfortunately.
But
But
anyway,
That thing you mentioned, though, Nick,
so yeah, so
that
anyway,
sounds almost like a Canadian Garth Marenghi or something.
yes, kind of it was.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Heat, Vision, and Jack. It was
mm,
supposed to be. It was supposed to be a TV series. Basically it's a pilot episode for a TV series that didn't get picked
I
up,
think I heard
but then it
about
got
that. Yeah.
leaked, and it's you can easily find it on the internet, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm.
Speaking of which, I know you like Garth Marenghi, Nick, and Ron. We both like Steve Coogan.
Mhm.
So a film I
Mm.
could probably recommend to both of you if you've not seen it, and I think it might be on Netflix, is Mindhorn.
Mindhorn.
Yeah,
Mind
which is
horn.
Okay.
basically kind of
One
Garth
word.
Marenghi's Dark Place with Steve Coogan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Anyway,
Mind horn.
so
Okay.
very briefly, for those who haven't seen School of Rock, Ron, can you let us
Yes.
know what it's all
Yeah.
about?
So
Those lucky
so
people.
yeah. So so Jack Black is kind of a slacker loser, wannabe rock star, and he's in a band, and he's kind of slacking and kind of um, living off of his good friend who used to be in the band with him, kind of living in his apartment with with his friend and his friend's girlfriend, played shrilly by Sarah Silverman,
Yeah, that
Yes,
is
and
shrill. Yeah,
criminally. She's
I felt quite
criminally
bad for
wasted.
her.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
she is my biggest caveat about the film is that's a terribly
uh,
underwritten. Why would you even cast a comedian
uh,
to
for that
play
kind
that
of part. Yeah,
angry
yeah,
girlfriend who doesn't have a single
yeah,
funny line? It just
and
yeah, yeah,
also,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't believe that Sarah Silverman, who was pretty fucking hot in her
hmm
day, would be
Was he with Mike
dating
White?
the haunted
Mike White.
pumpkin that is Mike White, right?
It's funny. I was wondering too when I was watching them. I was like, "How this guy is so bland and wishy-washy."
Well, his name is Schneebly, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah. And I was
right
like,
in the
"Is he
name, right?
like?"
So yeah, so
I was like, "Is he friends with the director? Like, why? Like, why is he in?"
Apologies
And
to
then
all
I
Schneebleys watching, by the way.
I
the writer,
figured it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I figured it out obviously at the end when I was like, oh, hang on, he wrote the entire thing.
Yeah, he wrote it as he's written.
Yeah, he also
Yeah.
wrote White Lotus, like that.
Yeah, which is
Yes, so he's the White Lotus guy now. So
yeah.
So this is kind of he sort of had a few movies, including this one, that kind of made him sort of famous. Then he was on Survivor.
Well, see, that's where I actually knew him from. Weirdly enough, I was like,
And
I recognize this guy from somewhere, but I don't think it's from a movie.
And he's going to be on season 50 starting this month.
Of that Mike White wrote. It's got whole sections and like Sarah Silver, and then crossed out with crayon, and then the character name. I mean, Susan gives Mike White. I mean, head for 30 minutes.
So Mike White's going to be in the new season of Survivor this month, season 50, right? So
he's back again.
He's coming back. He's coming back. So anyway, so then
hang
he
on,
started White Lotus.
Survivor. Are you talking about that show?
The reality TV series.
Yeah, the reality show.
Was he on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But after being famous, like it wasn't a gateway.
After this, but I think he was sort of after this. So it was sort of like I don't think he had too many hits. It was sort of like his kind of his Hollywood fame was kind of waning a little bit, and it was pre White Lotus. And as soon as White Lotus, he ended up getting like really big. Now he's like kind of like the real like hot shit now, right? So I think he maybe had some pull to get back on Season 50. I'm not sure if that's why, but so yeah, he had a big he knows Jeff Probst and all that stuff. So I think
was it a celebrity?
Yes, that's
Survivor?
Another thing I watched with my son. Yeah, so we also watched that together. Yeah,
was that a celebrity Survivor?
Yes.
No, it was just. It wasn't.
That season was David versus Goliath. So the idea was that there was like one team of people who were super achievers, and so he was on that team because
but he wasn't. But
it wasn't necessarily celebrities. There was other people who had
they occasionally have famous people. They have like sometimes famous athletes on there from time to time, and I haven't had too many actors, but
I don't think I've seen an episode, but I have been to the location where some of it used to be shot. Okay. I think for the establishing, there's like a beach with like stones, like.
Well, they used to move, every season they would move somewhere different, so it depends on
the last bunch
what
have
you're
all
talking
been
about.
Oh,
okay. The last bunch have all been.
When it first wasn't it? Didn't they all go to like some beach or something?
They went they went to Guam. They went.
Every season was somewhere different.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, at some point, season, the place they shot it was in Palau.
Yes.
Palau. Yeah. So,
but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That was like season 11 or 12. I don't know the
setup of the show, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be in the middle of nowhere or some shit, right? Like they're
on a desert island, right?
Yeah. So, but the place in Palau where they shot it is like right next to a big dolphin theme park.
Right. That's not surprising.
Yeah. Although I don't know, because it was season 10, so it was like in 2005. I think they shot in Palau. So they made the theme park may have sprung up since then.
No. It was because that was there first, because I remember visiting there as a dolphin thing, and then they obviously someone had gone there, and then they'd seen it and said, "Oh, we could shoot this show or whatever." Because when was I there? Not long after, like a year after or something like that, I think, or a couple of years after.
But I mean, the premise of Survivor, it's not really like one of those Naked and Alone shows where you're actually trying to survive. I mean, basically, it's just a series of like.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I've never seen it, so I'm not attacking
they do
Survivor. Have... Neither am I defending it. I know nothing about it. That's the only thing I know about Survivor is that I visited.
You live on very little food, though, so.
Yes.
Sorry. So, but anyway, and they do have to make their own shelters and blah blah blah.
So
whatever.
Really, government criminally wasted in this film.
Wasted, underused, certainly. Anyway, so I didn't finish the synopsis. So anyway, Mike White plays like a substitute teacher and gets called from like a prep school to come and substitute, and Jack Black, who plays Dewey Finn, decides to pretend to be Ned in order to get this job so that he can get some money while he waits to kind of put a band together, because his band's also kicked him out because he's too much of a showboat. And so then he sort of starts by, first a little bit kind of like slacking off and telling the kids to just go do recess and do nothing. And then he realizes that they all can some of them can play instruments. So he decides that's his key, that he's going to use some of the musically inclined ones to put a band together and so basically ends up making basically like a project-based learning. It ends up stumbling into like an actual PBL kind of situation. So So, and he sets it up so that that they all kind of have a role together, and they all kind of put this band together, even though he's basically pretending to be someone else the whole time. And also, what's her Joan Cusack plays the principal of the school, who's a little bit uptight, but also kind of like kind of a love interest, but kind of not. It's kind of vague about that.
I think she might be the
Romantic.
best, one of the very best things about this film, actually, in my
Mm,
in my opinion.
yeah,
John
I
Cusack's always good though.
Yeah, I know. I kind of
yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
I kind of forget that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And in this one, it's almost like it's one of because you see her in bits, and sometimes you think, but in this one, they've almost like that John Cusack thing you
Yeah.
do that as much as you like, and
Hmm.
we'll see if we lose it or not. And she just
Hmm.
knocks it out the park. Like she's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with her. Yeah, she's kind of immaculate in almost everything, really.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Right back to Better Off Dead,
yeah.
where she's in the neck brace
Well,
the
oddly
entire
enough,
film.
she's like, in a way, you used to think of her as John Cusack brother, but in the long run, she's like, John
Yeah.
Cusack's kind of career and personal life, everything's gone a bit,
Hmm.
oh, John, did you do that? Or did you say that? Or it's become a bit complicated and strange. And you go back, was it you telling me, Nick, if you go back and watch Say Anything now, like that character is a lot less,
Oh,
uh,
much more problematic. Yeah.
yeah, because he's basically a stalker.
John or
Oh,
Joan?
John.
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 Yeah.
No, that's what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Jones
yeah.
kind of avoided. She, in the long run, she seems to have come out with a
Mm,
more kind of
yeah.
coherent body of work,
Right.
which is less problematic than,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah.
But John was close
Um,
friends with Hunter S. Thompson and stuff, so that's always a bad sign,
uh,
I'm afraid. Much as I love
Yeah, no, you're quite right,
Dr.
actually. There's very
Gonzo,
was he
few
but
friends
people who
with Epstein too?
survive the contact with Hunter
hopefully not.
Thompson. Something happens.
So anyway, so of course it's a prep school with lots of like the parents are really rich and entitled, and so then they find out that he's
We're gonna get kicked off.
that
Ron, we're about to
yeah,
get kicked off. So
okay,
We're
okay.
I
talking
don't
about
open this for
School
another
of
My
round.
Rock.
room,
That's why you're going.
my room or your room?
So actually I just misspoke. I think right wing is not the word I'm looking for. Conservative, and maybe even small C conservative, like lifestyle conservative. Morrissey
Small
and
C as in
Gallo.
cunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So both Gallo and Morrissey are basically very anti-drug, they're teetotalers, anti-drink, anti-promiscuous sex. And if you told me that from looking at their films, I would be kind of like, oh, and in Gallo's case, anti-porn, right? And I suppose probably, I'm sure in Morrissey's case as well. So if you, but there's a kind of a disconnect between the films that they've made and those attitudes, I guess, in a way. If you told me that like a film that involved an unsimulated blowjob would be an anti-porn film and deliberately designed as an anti-porn film, which is apparently Gallo's intent here.
Well, this is the
Um,
thing, though, isn't it? That's the thing with that kind of libertarian thinking as well, which can it's a confusing mix between right.
mhm.
It's like John Wayne famously, like you wouldn't have thought so, and every other way John Wayne is exactly who you think John Wayne is. But then
Mhm.
apparently he was a massive proponent of pornography, like
Right.
being,
Mhm.
uncensored and being people being via like, you'd think no, but not on that matter. He was just yeah, quite
Right.
progressive.
Mhm.
Uh,
Um, and so yeah, I mean, that's kind of a fascinating thing for me is just the idea of like, yeah, making an anti-porn film that includes a scene that most people would have well reacted to in kind of horror as being, oh my God, there's a porn scene in a mainstream film, or at least a film that's not a porn film, right?
Anyway, so I want to
Hmm.
build tension
Yes.
because
Please.
you've shown your hand a little bit. I'll talk a little bit
Mhm.
why I like this a little bit. You've shown your hand a little bit to me in private
Mhm.
messaging, Nick. So
Yes.
I kind of have a feeling I know where you fall on this,
Okay.
but I actually have no idea what Ron.
Okay.
I can't.
Yes.
He's got a poker face as much as
Hmm.
Ron can has of a poker face. So yeah, let's go
Mm.
to you first, Nick, for
No,
your.
no, Ron first.
No,
Yes.
no, you first,
Me.
because I want to build
Okay, sure.
tension. Because I don't,
Okay, I
I
get
kind
you. I
of,
get you. I get you.
I think I
Sure. I
might
get you.
guess. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I found this by turns enjoyable, um, funny, And funny specifically in the way of like sometimes when the scenes were held so long that I started to kind of giggle. I was like, the audacity of just showing me that like bike
Oh,
disappearing
damn. You might
into
like Satan Tango then.
well, you know that. I mean, one of my favorite films we watched recently was that film that was entirely filmed that woman wandering around that old cinema vacuuming the thing for an hour
Oh,
and a
that's
half.
true. You did like that, yeah.
Yeah, yes, I get along very well with things that are like glacially paced and kind of like. And the other thing, so a couple more things I'll quickly say. I think if you wanted to know what it's like to live in North America, really understand what it is like to live in North, this is the film to watch. Like, there's that's what most of the US and Canada looks like. Just these kind of little suburban roads and
It
laneways
did
and
feel authentic to me, and I've never been there, but yes.
totally. Like
Yeah,
I felt
yeah.
like I had lived this cross multi-state driving adventure, right? I loved the splattered windshield. Um yeah, I don't know, like I found yeah, I found it very like relaxing to watch. And at times I laughed just because like holy shit, I can't believe he's let that shot go that long or
Yeah.
that this exchange is this awkward.
You
Like the
have a
scene where
very
he's talking.
similar reaction to me, actually. I was kind of the same. Yeah, I just enjoy spending this time. Like, there is something deeply relaxing and meditative, and
Mm,
especially
Mm.
some of the scenes when he's talking to someone in the kitchen as well, like he's talking to Daisy's mother, and
oh yeah.
and I've been at dining tables
Hmm.
like that, and
With a
just
possibly senile old person
endless seeming,
pauses.
and this is like a nice way to relive it without actually going there, kind of thing. Like,
Hmm.
I don't
Yep.
know, it does feel very, very authentic, and even some of the things that in the film that are more outlandish in a way or unlikely, they still kind of feel, because I think some people see, and I see why, some people see Vincent Gallo as a bit of a poser, right?
Okay.
Either his filmmaking, which obviously is it has, he obviously loves his Cassavetes and people like that,
Hmm.
right? And then um also his music. I actually saw him play live
Oh.
here at one of the festivals that they have in Makati Messe, and he was on. And again, he's got very good taste in music, but he's almost like he has too much good taste in music, so he fetishizes things, and he
Hmm.
fetishizes instruments and amps and certain, and so it's almost like he can't escape from the shadow of his influences. So he seems like a poser. So you can
Right.
see how his films would feel like art film poser films, right? And I'm sure
Mm.
that's how people see them. But this one seems genuine to me. Like, it seems to come from a real. It's you can see the influences, but also it becomes totally its own film, I think.
Hmm.
And and then when the ending does come, I that kind of, I didn't quite remember it,
How
and
grim it is.
yeah,
It's
and I was
brilliant.
quite taken aback. Not only is it grim, but it's just so, they really take it to the edge with the acting, and that, like, it's quite upsetting.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
And I respond to stuff like that. I'm like,
And that's the way.
I admire that you went there, that you didn't chicken out, that you went all the way, and yeah, fuck, I'm not skipping out of the theater. It's, a pretty grim ending, but in a way, it's exhilarating as well. Like, when someone goes somewhere, doesn't matter how dark it is. Sometimes even some of the most grim films I've ever seen in my life. Afterwards, I just have this
Well,
joy de vivre, right? Because something
that
was done like properly. So
right.
yeah.
And that's where 40 Deuce came to mind for me, right?
Okay.
In the same way of also, I mean, also it's grainy and gritty and 16 mil and kind of on the streets and like all that stuff. And then there's the element of the critique of a whatever you want to say, like a loose lifestyle, right? Whether that's drugs or whether that's, pimping yourself out or whatever that is. And the other thing that it kind of weirdly drew to mind for me was like Forrest Gump, which funnily enough was a film we talked about last year on this very same show, because we had that whole conversation around Jenny and whether or not you may remember you were surprised, Clive, that both Ron and I saw her initially as the villain of the piece, right?
I
And
did not expect to see Tom Hanks's cock erect in that film. I
that
felt.
was
Yeah, yeah,
surprising, I
yeah,
will say. Yes,
yeah,
that's a man of many
yeah.
gifts.
Gump
But
by name, gump by nature. That actually makes no sense. Carry on.
no. Um, but yeah, kind of in a way, Daisy is a similar character, right? A deeply damaged person who's got a drug problem and then kind of gets in above her head and ends up in a really awful situation, right? Um, and in both cases, the film I think is trying to teach us some sort of lesson, right, around not
So, do you think
not
this is
being.
a reactionary film?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. But you still
and
liked it, though.
I did, yeah, yeah. I appreciated all the things you appreciated. I appreciated its verve, its commitment,
But you
its
think it has a problem, a possibly problematic message?
yeah. I do feel like it's almost a little bit quasi incel-y in a way, right? This lonely dude driving around,
Well, I mean, and Buffalo 66 definitely plays like that now.
right, picking up girls, and then
More than this, I think.
okay,
But no, 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 but you might be onto something.
and
Sometimes these things take a while to, yeah, you
it's
might be
almost like
on.
an early version of the whole male loneliness
Yeah,
epidemic
yeah,
idea, and and in a way, it does place some certain amount of blame, I think, on the woman, right?
yeah. I
Although
mean,
part of the
that's the
ending
thing. A
is,
lot of things that are toxic, they haven't always been toxic.
hmm,
And the line between them not being toxic and becoming toxic is difficult to find. And that's why it's very tempting to just, fuck it, let's just backtrack it all as toxic, right? And
right, yeah, yeah.
and
I
it's
don't
not that
necessarily,
simple, right?
no, no,
Things
I
change.
don't think so either. And in
Yeah.
fact, part of the ending is all about him coming to terms with his own agency and choices in this moment, and facing a very hard truth about his own failing to do the right thing in that moment,
Yeah,
right?
I mean it's honest. I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? I know some people think that's a bit of a cop out, like when people say that something might be toxic or problematic. Oh, well, wait, I didn't mean to take offense, and then people say offense isn't given, it's taken, blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah. But um, but yes, regardless of if you think there's any hidden kind of problematic issues, it is honest, though, right? Like
Mm,
it's
yeah.
true. I think like for good or bad, I think this is genuinely uh
And it taps into a
this
very raw fear for me, a
yeah,
very raw fear
yeah,
of being alone and not being with the person that I love. There's no question that like that side of for me, it is deeply sad. Um,
and
you
it
know,
retroactively makes sense as well, just in terms of you're watching it and you're absorbed in it, and you don't really know why and then when it happens, the thing is so strong, you forget about the rest of the film in a way, and that's what was interesting about coming back to it because now I kind of knew it was like,
yes,
that's why
and it
he's
and it
behaving
take and it and it
like
takes
that.
yes,
Yeah.
and it takes you back. But I kind of figured it out. I think about the halfway point. I got a pretty strong sense of that this was about a person grieving,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, if you're looking for it, you know the sledge's going to be called Rosebud.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this actually this I thought by the end of the film, the scene that became the most stark and almost unbearable was the scene of him visiting Daisy's mom. Once you understand what's happened, to kind of
Mm.
back map onto that scene and you realize why that scene is so awkward and kind of sad.
Had you seen
Right.
it before?
No, no, it was the first
Okay.
time for me.
Had you seen it before, Ron?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. So, I
Anyway, I'm
mean,
done. I'm done with what I have
take
to
it
say about
away,
this.
Ron. How did you get on with the brown bunny?
Uh, oh, I'm not sure if I'll be as eloquent as the two of you were speaking about it. It was nice to listen to you. Um, but
That's a
yeah,
very
I don't.
nice thing to say, Ron.
Hmm.
Yeah, you guys were quite. I was enjoying hearing you
Have you
discuss it.
forgotten that this show is when we shout at each other and stab each other in the face with knives?
Love conquers all, Clive. Love conquers all.
I guess
um,
so. Yeah.
I mean, I kudos to you. I can see why you thought this would really get me.
Mhm.
I mean, some of my Achilles heel that I've talked about in the past were road movies in general. Also really, really boring things and porn, right? So all three of those kind of intersect in this one. Right. So yeah, good choice, I think. I think, however, that this was so like insistently boring that it came out the other side. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like it wasn't just boring to watch, it was purposefully boring. And so it was as you guys said, meditative, which which is similar to, I guess, boring, right? So, but it got to the point where it stopped being boring because it became so fascinating in its insistence on being boring. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I think it's similar to what you guys were talking about, like how you're laughing at how long these shots were, and it became almost fascinating to watch this guy really like do whatever the fuck he wants with this movie, right? Like there's nobody telling him not to do what he's doing, right? So
Right.
and yeah. So it's and in that
Just
way,
for context, I suppose we should say actually that even though Buffalo 66 didn't necessarily set the box office on fire and wasn't as big everywhere as here, it did get a lot of cultural cachet, right? So what you're saying on, I think, is right.
And I did
because it's
say
not as if
I
this
did
is a
see Buffalo
huge
66.
budget, right? So
Yeah,
basically
exactly.
within those parameters, they were like, do whatever the fuck you like, right?
Do whatever you want, yeah. So
Yeah.
it seemed almost like it was just him and his camera, and then he just got a buddy to help film a little bit, and then he's
Right.
like, okay, I'm going to do this, and it seemed like it's like he almost didn't even need studio, permission to do anything. He's just
All
like,
the
I'm going to
money
get a
went.
camera and I'm going to do it all myself.
I think all the money went to that Gordon Lightfoot song. It is my suspicion.
Yeah, right.
That was
Yeah.
like 90% of the budget went to paying for that Gordon Lightfoot song.
Yeah. So I don't know. It wasn't. Yeah. I mean, it was boring, but it wasn't like boring in a painful way. It was just. It was. I can see how it was meditative and kind of interesting in its dullness. The, but
I finally got through to him. I finally got through to him.
No,
he gets it.
But I would say, but I would say that the one thing that I do differ from you guys was the ending, which is that I don't think that actually he has the acting chops to pull off that. I didn't really get the gut punch that you guys seem to get from it. I thought it was it felt for me quite insincere and disingenuous, just in the fact that it's sort of like him rolling on the bed going, you're dead, or sorry, sorry, give away the spoiler, but just it was
alert,
like,
by the way.
It was yeah, sorry, is that it's sort of like it was exposition framed as a emotional outburst, but it didn't really feel genuine to me at all. Like it didn't feel like he didn't have the acting chops to really get there, and I didn't feel like it was very natural.
So it was a performance,
and the things that he was saying felt really fake and sort of shoehorned in order to explain to the audience what actually has happened without us just figuring it out ourselves, even though I kind of would like Nick had figured it out like halfway through kind of thing. So yeah, so I mean, I do think the blowjob scene was kind of unnecessary.
Out, though,
but I mean, I don't see what the big deal. It doesn't mean a big deal to me, but I don't really think it was that necessary. But it made me laugh out loud. Like I was like, oh, okay, he's went there, and so he reminded me a little bit about that other movie we talked about on the Septic Shock recently about the guy, what was it? I forget the name of it, but he was making the woman Frankenstein, and he was like the guy who was
the Body Shop.
The Body Shop, yeah. So it reminded me of that, which is almost like it's like Vincent Gallo is like, I've got this great idea for a movie where I'm gonna get this Hollywood actress to give me a blowjob, and it's good. I'm gonna free like it was almost like it was set up so that he could have that done. Then so I don't know.
They did used to be an item though, right?
Yes.
So it wasn't like
but at the same time, yeah. So I don't know. It felt like, I don't know. But of course, I read that it was actually supposed to be originally Winona Ryder that did that part.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
apparently she dropped out because she didn't want to do that, right? So, and apparently
Sure.
he was like infatuated with her. So I get the impression that in some way this whole project was actually just sort of like a
The
it was
vanity
it was
blowjob piece.
it was a
The fact
vanity
that
project to get a blowjob on screen, right? So I
the
mean,
fact that Winona Ryder almost did that caused so much sadness in the world until the invention of AI. So,
right.
I suppose AI is useful for something, right? It's made a lot of
Yeah.
people who were once sad happy again and have
Right.
focus and
Yeah.
direction in their life.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't make me angry or I don't think it hit me as much as you wanted it to. But I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's a great
Okay.
movie.
It's not going to be a
I
yearly
think
tradition for you.
But it's
yeah,
interesting that
yeah.
you
I didn't
put
hate. I
that.
actually quite liked Buffalo 66, but this one, I was kind of like, oh, I kind of like Vincent Gallo.
But it's interesting
One
that
other thing I wanted
you put
to
that
mention about
mostly on
Vincent
his
Gallo is,
performance, though. It's interesting to me
yeah,
the
well,
thing that let it down to you
that's
was,
what the whole, but
yeah,
that's what the climax hinges on, is his performance, right? So I think,
yeah. But I didn't for a
yeah.
minute think it well, or clearly you feel it deficient. And I'm quite
Yeah, I
interested
didn't
because
feel
other
it.
things you can kind of sometimes guess someone's this way. But I have to admit, by the time we got to that part, I was sold on it. And I'm actually genuinely quite fascinated that you saw what you saw was a poor performance. And because I'm guessing I didn't see that, and you didn't see that either, right, Nick? I'm guessing.
No,
But
I'm somewhere in the middle. I did think there was something slightly
already?
awkward about the dialogue because it felt improvised in a
That's what I
way that
said.
wasn't
Oh
quite
no, no. Awkward,
Yes.
yes. But for me, the I suppose the awkwardness was a sign of authenticity. Whereas
right.
for you, it's
Okay.
a sign of the
It's an
opposite.
artifice almost, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
But
still
yeah, the
it
awkwardness
still
for
works.
me made it stand out, like as if it was sort of like it didn't feel honest to me because it felt so awkward. Does that? I guess I went the other way with that kind of idea, because it just felt very like I need to express this idea, what's happened here, and I'm going to have to do it in this way. So I'm going to just say it out loud, even though it doesn't feel
Well, that worked for me
real.
just because
Right.
he's
So
so
yeah.
buttoned up through the rest of the film. Like
Mm,
he's a mumbly, non-responsive fuck for
mm,
the most of it. He's very
yeah.
he doesn't explain anything to the point of being
Yeah.
kind of almost rude or you'd think he's on the spectrum
Yeah.
or not able
Mm.
to communicate or something. So then when he kind of breaks down and you're right, it is expository, but I don't think in a bad way. I just think it's like it's him finally. It felt to me like someone who doesn't speak much finally having something to say. And because I've
Mm,
experienced this a little bit in my own, not for long periods of time, because as you could tell, I'm a chatty motherfucker. But you know, when you don't speak for it doesn't even have to be that long. It depends on the situation, right? If you go into so sometimes I'll go to a job or something, and I don't know, for whatever reason, because I don't know what's coming up. I don't know what I was asked. I don't know where even where I am. I'm going to a part of Tokyo I've never been to before. I don't know what the job is, and you just kind of you're stoic to begin with, right? Because you just and you
Mm.
don't say much. You might say, "Oh, here was I was," or listen and what kind of match or something, and then but you don't give too much of yourself away. And then when you're called upon to talk, you're kind of like it's almost like you forgot how to communicate. So that's what it was like for me. It was like this guy who had almost forgotten how to articulate himself. So then it comes out
mm.
sounding, but again, there's a lot of projection there, obviously.
That's
So
that sounds very apologetic.
yeah,
You're apologizing for it.
yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
For me, it didn't read as authentic. So that was
Okay.
just how I thought. So yeah. So I mean, in general, it wasn't terrible. I just thought it felt a little too vain
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
apparently there was a lot of booze
but of course,
in the audience when the credits come up and it's just like Vincent Gallo, Vincent Gallo, Vincent Gallo.
Vincent Gallo. It reminded me a little bit of like when I was in high school. I think we were learning how to use like an animation program, like at the very, very early, like in like the Commodore 64s, like we had in the early ones. And there's like an early like how to make animation kind of thing. And I remember
Oh, you had
I
Commodore
made
64s in Canada.
something like that. Yeah, like really, really like early. And then we were doing something, and I made like did you guys ever see that early animation, the Godzilla versus Bambi?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I made like my own version of Godzilla versus Bambi, or I can't remember. It was different. I changed the characters, or whatever. It was like Grimace from McDonald's or something like that. And then the same thing. It was like like 10 seconds long. And then I made like it was like a 2 minutes credit.
Spoiler alert for Godzilla vs. Bambi coming up. Maybe.
Yeah, Ron's just spoiling everything today.
Yeah, and so the same thing is I just put my name like it's like, and I
Yeah.
remember renting movies and writing down every single job of a person that would work on a movie so that I could
Yeah.
extend these
Key
credits.
grip,
Like
Ron.
that was my joke, right? So
That's
so
quite a
it
good
was
joke,
felt like that he was
to
almost
be
like
fair.
but it felt like Vince Gallo was copying my joke. He stole my joke by just putting his name on it.
We get to the
boy,
root of the
Gallo.
problem. Vincent Gallo stole Ron's joke.
Stole my joke.
It's colored his entire viewing experience.
Yeah.
Just like Ryan Gosling stole his career.
Jay Baruchel, not Ryan Gosling.
I'll tell you one thing I really liked was I had to do some research when it gets to the Bonneville Salt Flats. I was like, what a cool little place.
Yeah.
And he just takes the bike out and just drives across the salt flats.
Right. Yeah.
But
no, it's interesting that as well, that provoked a thought in me as well, because I remember seeing this for the first time and thinking when he goes to one, oh, that's a cool location. But it was also like not a bit, it was like, oh yeah, because once upon a time we went to cool locations a lot in cinema. And I think that's changed a little bit in mainstream cinema. Like, it's quite notable now when you see like a real cool location.
Yes.
Oh, they went to look at it's like something, so that was kind of interesting as well to think that's I think that's the other thing about it as well is just the time thing, that in 2003 there were probably more movies like this, so they seemed a little bit less precious in a way. And just watching it now, I was like, fuck, it would be so awesome. Like, I'm trying to think who would be the equivalent of who's a modern Vincent Gallo, that is to say someone who's like not a big mainstream star but has a kind of indie presence and is also part of the and would manage to I don't know, is like a James Franco or something like that. Is that like a
maybe, although
but that wouldn't be a young he's getting on a bit
as well now,
right? Yeah, so who would be like we're probably not the right
no, we're not the people.
I don't know. I don't know.
But I just wonder if they would make a film like this now. I mean,
like Pete Davidson, that dude from
or
whatever, is he the kind of guy who might potentially do something like this?
I don't know. He's too funny, I think, or he thinks he is anyway. So I think he's a stand-up, right? So there's not like an auteur kind of thing. The one other thing I want to mention about Vincent Gallo before we move on is that one thing that also struck me is that did anyone else notice that his voice doesn't seem to match his image?
Yes, absolutely.
Like it's like
I wondered if that's always the case.
He's like this real kind of like Grim James Dean kind of like but then he talks. He's like, "Hi, I'm Vincent Gallo," right? Like it's like this really like too high voice, and it's really kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of like why like it the voice doesn't match his. Yeah, the voice doesn't match his. I mean, that was just this one observation.
I totally agree. It actually was quite disconcerting to me because he's such a a rugged, kind of greasy looking. Like the hair and his jeans, and and he's got that kind of striking face, and he's Sicilian. Apparently, got his family background is Sicilian, and suddenly this kind of squeaky high helium like.
See, I've never had that for whatever reason. I now that you say it. It's obvious, but I've always taken him as a set somehow. It makes sense to me that the voice comes out of that. Because I also
Yeah.
don't think of him as people talk about him in weird ways. He seems to mean different things to different people. He was in that art world for a while, and he's spoken of in that way. And then he was a model, and then people who see him as a model, and then. But I think for other people, he looks a bit more. You wouldn't think he's a model, right?
Mm.
But for a certain demographic, he is, and so
He
I
looks
think that's the
like half the
problem
people I
with
went
him
to
as well.
art school with. He looks literally like half the people I went to art school with, or the men anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I
no,
was
no,
gonna,
he looks super pretentious and he's a somewhat of a dilettante, you could argue. So I totally understand whenever someone comes out against Vincent Gallo, I'm not really in a position to I understand.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
stands accused and guilty of everything that you say he is.
Mm.
However, this one time at least,
Mhm.
I do genuinely think the Brown Bunny is a pretty great fucking film, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sad that it exists. I'm not sad that I saw it. But I was wondering, Ron, for you, if it
Mm.
feels, because I mean, I've been living back in North America for the last 11, 12 years,
Mm.
right? For you, was sitting in that car and just driving through those endless suburban vistas, did it feel like home to you? Because it really does, to me, it feels like there's something about it that just encapsulates just the kind of weird drabness and sort of slight
Uh,
ugliness of so much of what North America actually looks like.
a little bit, because where I'm from, there isn't so much open road. So,
Right.
I'm from a city, so it wasn't quite, it's more American than it was Canadian, I thought.
Right.
But some of like definitely like the
Well,
sitting
hang
at
on. I've
the
driven all over Ontario, Ron. Most of it's empty. Most of it's
it
empty.
is, but not where I'm from. I'm from Southern Ontario, which is all cities and stuff. So
Okay.
it is sort of like the drabness, but it's more kind of populated. But
I
definitely the
believe
sitting
Ron
at
is
the
basically calling you a hick, Nick.
Ah, I see. I
yeah,
see.
right, yeah. But I would say like sitting at the table with the
Mhm.
mom. Yeah, I've definitely had though. Yeah, as you were saying, those types of conversations with
Mhm.
even with my own family. Right. So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely felt real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have
So
to go to North
even
America. I've had chats like that in Wales.
yeah,
Yeah,
and in Japan and in Japan.
yeah, yeah. This is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I really need to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
so
Ron's
thank you
going
very
to bed,
much.
and you
Mm.
should all go to bed
Yes.
too. And you
Mhm.
shouldn't watch any Star Wars. Uh